Sometimes people don't just move on. Sometimes they wait. They plan. And when the moment comes, they don't just get even. They get worse. Today's confessions are about revenge. Not small revenge, the kind that changes everything. Hey, Pat. I'm from Chicago, and I didn't plan to become this person, but what he did to me changed everything. I met him at a time when I was genuinely looking for something real. I was tired of games, tired of confusion, tired of people who didn't know what they wanted. He came into my life like an answer to all of that. He was consistent, attentive, and he made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. He remembered small things about me, checked up on me without being asked, and spoke about the future like I was part of it. It felt safe. It felt intentional. Slowly, I let my guard down. I introduced him to my friends, started spending more time at his place, and before I even realized it, I was emotionally invested. But then things started shifting. Small things at first. He became harder to reach, slower to respond, less present. When I asked him about it, he would brush it off, telling me he was just busy or stressed. I believed him because I wanted to believe him. I kept giving him the benefit of the doubt, even when my intuition started telling me something wasn't right. Then one day, everything changed. I found out he was still involved with his ex, not just casually talking, fully involved. Seeing her, spending time with her, telling her the same things he was telling me. I felt humiliated, like I had been living in a reality that wasn't real. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it properly. He just said, "It's complicated." That sentence broke something in me because it made me realize that everything I thought we had meant nothing to him. I walked away that day, quietly. No drama, no shouting. But inside, I was not okay. I felt used, disrespected, and stupid for believing in something that was never real. I could have moved on, but I didn't. I wanted him to feel what I felt. At first, my plan wasn't even clear. I just knew I didn't want him to walk away from this like nothing happened. He was still moving around like he did nothing wrong, still charming people, still acting like the same good guy everyone believed him to be. And that's what bothered me the most, his image. So I decided to target that. I didn't rush. I watched. I paid attention. I noticed how he cared so much about how people saw him, how he always wanted to be respected, admired, trusted. So I got close again. Not emotionally, but strategically. I acted calm, mature, like I had forgiven everything. He let me back in easily, like I expected. He thought he still had control. Then, slowly, I started exposing him, but not directly. I would bring up certain conversations in front of people, ask questions that made him uncomfortable, mention things casually that hinted at the truth without fully saying it. People started noticing the inconsistencies in his stories. The perfect guy he had built started cracking. But I didn't stop there. I gathered proof. Messages, screenshots, things he said to me and to his ex. And one day, when the timing was perfect, I let everything out. Not in a dramatic scene, but in a controlled, calm way. I made sure the right people saw it. Friends, mutuals, people who respected him. The reaction was immediate. People distanced themselves. The same friends who used to praise him started questioning him. The respect he valued so much disappeared. And for the first time, I saw him uncomfortable, defensive, trying to explain himself and failing. He tried to come back to me after that, saying I went too far, saying I ruined his life. But I just looked at him and thought, you did that to yourself. And the truth is, I didn't even feel better after. I just felt empty. Yo, this one is cold because she didn't scream, she didn't fight, she waited, and then she destroyed his image completely. But let me ask you guys, was that justice or was that too far? Because once you go this far, there's no going back. Hey, Patricia. I'm from Los Angeles, and the person I got revenge on was someone I trusted with everything. I met this guy in college back in 2000, and from the beginning, we were inseparable, like we were salt and pepper. He wasn't just my boyfriend by then. He was my best friend, bestie. We did everything together, studying, going out, planning our future. We used to talk about where we would live, how many kids we wanted, even what kind of life we would build together. It felt real, it felt safe, and for a long time, I never questioned it. I guess I should have questioned myself. After graduation, things started getting serious. We moved in together, started building our lives, and I genuinely believed I was with the person I would marry. I supported him through everything, when he was struggling financially, when he was stressed about work, when he doubted himself. I stood by him when he had nothing. And when things finally started going well for him, that's when everything changed. Why are guys like this, though? He became distant. Not in an obvious way at first, just small shifts. Less time at home, more late nights, more privacy with his phone. I noticed it, but I ignored it because I didn't want to believe anything was wrong. Then one night, I used his laptop while mine was dead, and that's when everything fell apart. I almost screamed my lungs out. My heart was beating like a python. I don't even know how a python heart beats. Messages, pictures, conversations, my good Lord. Not with a stranger, but with someone I knew. Yo, my friend. Someone who had been in my house. Someone who had eaten my food, laughed with me, sat next to me like everything was normal. They had been seeing each other behind my back for months. OMG. I remember just sitting there, staring at the screen, feeling like my whole body went numb. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. It was realizing that two people I trusted the most had been lying to me at the same time, right in front of my face. I didn't confront them immediately. I stayed quiet. And that silence, that's where everything changed. I didn't cry in front of them. I didn't beg. I just planned. The first thing I did was act normal. That was the hardest part. Sitting across from them, laughing at jokes, pretending I didn't know anything. It took everything in me not to break. But I needed time. I needed control. And most importantly, I needed the right moment. I started observing them more closely. The looks they exchanged when they thought I wasn't paying attention. The way they avoided being too close around me, but still found ways to communicate. It made me sick, but it also made me more determined. I wasn't going to confront them in anger. That would be too easy, too quick. They didn't deserve that. Instead, I created a situation where they would expose themselves. I planned a small gathering at my place, close friends, nothing too big. I made sure both of them were there. The energy felt normal on the surface, but I could feel the tension underneath. At some point in the night, I stood up and started talking. I kept it calm, smiling, almost like I was giving a toast. Then I started telling a story. Not directly accusing anyone, just describing a situation. A woman being betrayed by her boyfriend and her friend. I watched their faces change slowly as they realized what I was doing. The room went quiet. People started connecting the dots. Then I showed the proof. Messages, dates, everything. No shouting, no chaos, just truth. The silence in that room was heavy. My friend couldn't even look at me. My boyfriend started trying to explain himself, but nobody was listening anymore. People were shocked, disappointed, and honestly, disgusted. That night, I didn't just expose them. I took my power back. I packed my things the next day and left without saying much. I blocked both of them and never looked back. And the funny thing is, months later, I heard they didn't even last. All that betrayal for something that didn't even work out. But me, I found peace, and that was the real revenge. This one is powerful because she didn't fight, she didn't scream, she waited, and then she exposed everything in one moment. Guys, I need to know, would you have done the same or confronted them immediately? Because me, that silence, I don't know if I'm that strong. Revenge can feel powerful in the moment, but sometimes the real power is in how you walk away. If you have a story you want to share, send it to my email. You can stay anonymous, and your story might be next. Just remember, not everyone who hurts you deserves a reaction, but some stories, they deserve to be told.